Thanks, Jutta. Hi, guys, and very welcome here from sunny Munich to our 2 days webinar on x-dream-Fabrik. We will show some news that we have within our new hosted services platform. And today, presenting is me. Also, Jutta will assist me for some of the showcases, and John from Squared Paper will also show you the new stuff that we did in our processing platform. First of all, what's our 2 days agenda? I will give a short overview on the platform. I will show you how you can order the hosted services. That's also the way how to get a trial. And then we will jump right away into the demos. Whenever you have questions, please type into the chat field on the right-hand side. The more, the better. We will try to answer this as soon as possible. Jutta will monitor that, and if there's something important coming up, we'll answer it right away. So what's x-dream-Fabrik? It's our hosted services platform. We've launched it on IBC 2019, so around about a bit more than half a year ago. And it's slowly developing. That's as planned. What type of customer is x-dream-Fabrik targeting? At the end, we can say mainly the media and broadcasting industry. That starts with studio production facilities, mainly for the connection towards post-production facilities. Then on the other hand, broadcasters, smaller and bigger ones, archives, content agencies, and content publishers. What do we mean with publisher? That's everyone who sends media, mainly video on demand or live streams to the internet. So that means everyone within the media production, media usage chain can be one of the customers of x-dream-Fabrik. What are the typical business cases that we are targeting? Brand new is the file exchange. It's a fairly simplified product. And then beside this, way more complex distributed post-production across various facilities, countries or continents. Then there is essence file processing, so where it's more about the horsepower that you need to process files. So we are talking about transcoding, quality control, and other operations, mainly from the AI space. Then classical content archiving, as applicable, where it makes sense to do that in a data center. Content exchange logistics, B2B content sales, and the preparation for B2C publication. For that reason, the architecture of our platform is built in different layers. And to be honest, we are about to put them in place one by one. Not all of them are available that very moment. The basic layer looks after the essence processing. So I call it the machinery room. And on top of that, we have the workflow automation that is available already in this setup, but with the essence processing, so with the engines, we are adding more and more step by step. On top of that, we have media asset management, and then that's also existing today, and something that we plan to add later on, probably end of this year or beginning of next year, is what we call business process management. So here we look into content rights management, playout planning, usage planning, but on the other hand, also resource and staff planning. That also leads then towards reporting, monitoring, and this type of applications. But as long as the engine room is not available, there's no need to look into scheduling and reporting. So now what about the engines? And here that's an overview of the various layers and what engines we have in mind or have already put in place. There's the processing layer. That very moment available is transcoding and quality control. We plan to add lots of other stuff like accelerated file transfer, loudness correction, subtitling, lip sync check, language detection, speech to text, face recognition, object recognition, also content classification. So this is all AI-based technology or machine learning technology. We have several partners that will contribute here. And then there's also a little bit more classical stuff like fingerprinting and watermarking, simply to follow the material along the processing chain or the media chain. On top of that, there's the workflow layer, as said. This is automation. And what goes along with the workflow automation is also basic transport, what can be movement of files within the platform or from on-premise onto the platform or back again, or in between various facilities or places where this platform is deployed. We will see the deployment in just a moment. Then on top of that, we have the media asset management layer. And obviously, you need to upload. Upload can also be a kind of remote ingest, what is a more enhanced procedure than just uploading files. We allow remote editing, the metadata management or metadata editing, and then processes like approval, and you want to download or publish, or you can sell the content. Selling content means there is a portal available that allows business customers to browse your archive, and when they found content of interest, they can request from you to sell it to them. And then last but not least, there is delivery. And about the business layer, we spoke already. That is something for the future. Now, where do we host? We, for our opinion, it's important that our platform is close to our customers. So not only located at central places where internet is strong in like Northern America or Central Europe, but to come as close as possible to you, probably also into your country, so that from also legal reasons, content stays close to you. We do host that very moment with Annexia, what is one of our hosting partners. And here we have 92 data centers available worldwide. The platform itself is agnostic, so it can run on any type of physical or virtual machine. So there's potential to make it available in more places, but that very moment, this is what we face. Now, the question is, what are the service products and what are the modules? I will not show all of them now in detail, but I want to highlight some of them, the most important. One of the absolutely important one is the chain processing. John will give us an insight into that in just a moment. Here, this very moment, we have workflow in place that consists from an analysis of the source, a transcoding, and a quality control. So there's an automatic quality control and a manual review of the results. And within this environment, we will add more engines over the time. So this can become a very powerful processing infrastructure. So the idea here is not to offer an isolated service, so not a software as a service, but a solution as a service that helps you to perform multiple steps from your all over media processing at one platform. File Exchange, a new product based on our media asset management system. The basic idea is you can send files in a secure and fast way, and you can also request someone to send files to you, so you can receive files. And as this happens via an exchange platform, files that have been sent to you, you can forward them to someone else. At the end, this is the very first step towards a cooperative distributed production workflow. But here, limited to basic file exchange. That's the first screenshot, but we will see more of that in the live demo. Produce is the product for distributed media asset management system. It's the same based system, but it's way more elaborated, because here the assumption is we do not only exchange files, but we are working together on creating assets. So assets are based on production activity. typically post-production activity, and today many people are contributing to one work result. There's someone who does the video shooting, someone who does the video color grading, someone else who does the editing, the voiceover, the sound, some additional graphics, and this is all composed to the final result. This can be done on Produce. Archive is same direction, but it's more focusing on there is an asset created already and you want to archive it. And our product aims for a hybrid scenario where your archive is based on an external hosting in a data center and an on-premise archive. And as we are all in a transition time, we are talking about hybrid archives, what also means we now look into the movement of workflows that happen traditionally on-premise and are now moved more and more towards external data centers or clouds. Deliver is the product that is made for sending files into video on demand archives. At the end, it's about to compose what I call asset packages that consist from audio, video, subtitles, and obviously various pictures, description and structural metadata, rights and prices. At the end, you have a bundle that can be sent to one of the popular video on demand archives. We have integrated with many of them already, and there's a kind of guided workflow on one hand, and on the other hand, the existing integration into the target platforms, what helps you to drive your business without all the technical hassle that usually comes with that. And sales to business is again a little bit further down the food chain here. Again, we assume that there is an asset existing and now it's about you want to sell this to someone else, not via a B2C shop, but via a B2B shop. So you offer content that someone else makes use of, either a broadcaster or someone who is driving video on demand activities or whatsoever. So these are the basic products, and then we have various plugins. I will jump over that now in a little bit. There's a transcoding module, there's a quality control module. Transcoding is based on Capella FTC, and the quality control is based on Venera Pulsar that very moment. And we will see that as John will showcase us this in just a moment. That's one of the screenshots. We will see more of this in a moment. There's also remote ingest and social ingest that's more relevant for the post-production workflow, so I will skip that this very moment. Now there's the question, how does the pricing work? How does payment and especially how does the ordering work? And here I would like then to jump to our website, x-dream-Fabrik. Let me quickly stop this presentation and show you our x-dream-Fabrik website. The start page gives you an overview and gives you access to the various products. In just a moment, we will see file exchange, and later on, we will also see the process. That's over here, and let's start with this. So the idea of the products is that you always have a base package, and you can add various modules to that base package. So this is the base package for chained process. Gives you lots of explanations what this is about, shows you some specifications, and gives you an idea how the pricing structure does work. In general, what we can summarize, there's always a kind of account creation fee, and there's a monthly base fee, and then there are fees for the usage, either for processing power or for the usage of data storage, data traffic, and so on. If you want to configure, there's the first decision that you have to do, whether you want to have commit to a certain data transfer value or whether you simply want to pay as you go. And if we commit to a transfer volume, then it asks us how many gigabytes per month. So let's say we want to transfer a terabyte, and it will cost us 40 euros. And it's kind of the same with the storage. So for whatever reason, I have typed in another number earlier. So let's say we want to commit again for a storage volume. Let's say now we need, let's say 2 terabytes. This will cost us 400 euros a month. And last but not least, we are asked for what modules we want to use. And that is simply to give us the information how the workflow has to be configured, and if possible, even automatically configured. Here, I've simply selected transcoding quality control. There's no pricing on this. It's just an information what shall happen. Now we can add this to the basket, shopping basket, and it will give us this kind of quotation. You can request a quote, and then it will ask me to log in. Strangely, I was logged out. Now I'm logged in, and I can get a quote. And everything went well. Then there is a PDF document created that shows me what my costs are. So this was just the base package. What we have missed here is we have missed to add any plugin. So obviously we need at least a transcoding module, and in our case we will also need the quality control module. That's kind of the exact same thing. I can commit, or I can say I want to pay as I go or as I use. Let's say I want to commit to something. Let's assume I have, say, 500 minutes. Now let's say 5,000 minutes a month. So 5,000 minutes a month, that's like 25 movies, something like this. And then it will ask me whether I have special requirements on what codecs I do. Typically, we go for something like an adaptive bitrate streaming, what means it requires a packaging. What I have forgot in this particular case, usually I will have multiple renditions, means I'm not transcoding just one HD stream, but typically, let's say like 5 different bit rates, and this obviously has an influence on the costs, because the transcoder will run 5 times the complete 5,000 minutes of source material. Again, there's the adaptive bitrate packaging, and then there's the question whether I need any additional features. Let's say that's not necessary. Here on the left-hand side, I can see also what that means, the breakdown on costs. So there is the base price, and what I've also committed to, the formats costs, and then the additional features. There have been no features. So in this particular case, I will have a one-time fee of 100 euros to get everything configured. And as I have committed to 5,000 minutes per month times 5 renditions, that's another 1,250 euros a month. Again, I can add this to the shopping basket. And now, as you can see, I have the base package and the transcoding module. Okay, as said, we want to do quality control. Let's jump quickly into this. We can do the exact same thing here. In our case, we would then again commit to a certain basic amount of material. Finally, the configurator. Yeah, we want to commit, and again, HD material, the same 5,000 minutes. Then I'm asked what I want to check for. Lots of these checks are in for free. Some others have a minute price assigned to it. Let's say we want to do a little bit of loudness check and flex frame and let's say blocking artifacts, and that costs us another 100 euros for the 5,000 minutes. And again, the next one that is being added to the shopping cart. So these are the costs, the one-time costs and the reoccurring costs as expected. So I will not waste too much time on this anymore, but obviously as next you would go to the checkout and you will press buy now. And what this creates is it sends us an email that someone has ordered something. So we are not invoiced automatically. Earlier or later, I should receive an email here showing me and the complete sales team that we have a new customer on x-dream-Fabrik. We will then engage with you and will check with you what the exact requirements are, the settings, and obviously you have not been asked for your credit card number, but you will receive a proper invoice, and we will work with traditional wire transfers. So as it is usual in B2B business. There is the same mechanism to configure all the other products. I will not elaborate on this today. I think for this webinar, that is enough on a high level information. So this about the configuration of the products, and now we want to demonstrate how the actual product looks like. And here I would like to hand over to John. He will show us the product that I've just configured that very moment.
So as Stefan mentioned, I'll briefly show you how the chain process works. As you can see, it's accessed by a secure website with SSL enabled, so security of your content is quite important. Let's say a login. After you do your order through Stefan, they provide you with some credentials to log into here. And let's say first thing I can see is this Kanban board. It's a very simple way of monitoring the files which are being processed by the system. So let's say I want to drag a file back to the start, which is the transcode step. A way a file would get into the system would be discussed with the Fabrik team. It might be via an FTP, it might be via an S3 bucket, or you might send it via an API request or something like that. Depending on which options you configured in the shop, you will probably have a transcode, and then you will see with your progress bars that you can go in, it will go through the auto QC process if you've selected it. First thing I'm able to do is, in this case, the logic I've got, which I set up in the shop, is that if my auto QC flags up any errors, then this has to be processed by manual QC. And I might, for example, have received an email to say some assets have failed, so I need to go in here. So I'll log into here. You're able to set if your operators are allowed to see both these tabs or just one. And if I click on one of these assets, I can see that the auto QC report has been downloaded from the Pulsar application, which is the engine used for the auto QC, and it's pulled in the markers and notes here, and I can click through these markers, and it will jump to, this is a frame accurate browse player, and it will jump to those sections in the video. I can maybe add some markers, add some notes, and I can either decide it's passed or it hasn't passed. If I go to passed, I'll go back to my programs, I can see that that program has moved into the delivery step. And again, that's configurable based on your agreement with the Fabrik team. That might be to an FTP, to an S3 bucket, back to your on-premise, etc., etc. I'm also able to, if I click on this program here and click on the Auto QC Report tab, I can actually download the report that the Pulsar application produced. So yes, that's a very quick overview. As Stefan mentioned, we'll be adding more features very soon. I didn't show you all the features already available. There are already more features as well, but that just gives you a very a quick overview of how it works.
Many thanks, John. So as we all can see here, the idea of this product change process is that we have pretty simple workflows that are targeting known use cases. So that's again kind of this user interface that we all have seen quite a lot. And chaining means we are building business processes from multiple of those engines, and we offer them in a way how they're often used. There's still some flexibility, so you can let us know what kind of chains you need, but we simply propose this kind of chains that we have seen from our customers in the past. And the product's user interface here works with this kind of Trello style columns, and you do not see your jobs in a long list view that is available as well if you need, but we offer this way where you see all the jobs coming in on the left and then making their way towards the right. Whenever they are getting stuck or manual or hold for a manual intervention, as John has just shown us for the manual QC review, then you can pick them up from here. So on the top, there's this kind of manual interaction. Many thanks, John, for now. Later on, I think we will probably have some questions.
Okay.
So as next, I would like to show you our other new product, what we call the file exchange. Sorry, wrong browser, this one. And that is something that I'm trying to showcase right now together with Jutta. So what I've did in preparation to the webinar, I've created a new file exchange room as simply you can understand it as a bucket where files are sitting and where various people can access them according to their rights. So this room was created for me, Stefan Pfütze, with this password. So no worries, that's just temporary for this demo. And what I've did already a bit earlier, I've asked Jutta to send some content in here, and that's what she did. So there is already 2 pieces of content in this exchange bucket, but now we'll show you what the idea is, how that works. So I will try to drive two actions. On one hand, I will send a clip to Jutta, and for that reason, let me empty this room, bring it back to the, let's say, to the original look and feel. So when everything is fresh and empty, it looks like this. And my task to perform what I want to do right now is I want to send someone a file. So we are targeting at the end 3 different use cases. On one hand, I want to send someone files, and I want to be informed when he has received it and made use of it. Or I can ask someone to send files to me, or I can ask someone, so I can send something to someone, can ask him to send me the work result back. So this is what we have in editing. And afterwards, I could forward the result again. So in this case, let's do something like we do a story editing. And I want to send this to Jutta. The system already knows Jutta because I have sent her a file earlier. And the production name is webinar. And hello, Jutta, please download and edit this story. Thanks, Stefan. So next to do, I could do some drag and drop, or I can load files from our demo bucket. So let's take some holiday movies, a little bit Namibia and Hong Kong and Joburg. So when I press start, I'm now uploading the videos to the platform. I should have looked on the sizes of the files. What I've selected, yeah, 300 megabytes, probably a little bit big. Hopefully it does not take too long. Let me cancel this and let's take other files, smaller files, better for the demo. Sorry for that. Something small. 2 of those should be fine. And now again, you see it goes way faster. What happens? Files are now uploaded to the secure platform. There are also thumbnails being generated. Jutta will receive an email that informs her about files are available for her to download. And then she can obviously use this method as well to send something back. Now, I will hand over to Jutta in just a moment. You have seen that the made already a status change. We will get thumbnails here in a moment once they are being rendered. Now, while we are, here we go. Now we are waiting. I'm also sending an invitation to Jutta. Let's assume, hello, Jutta, please upload your editing results. I could do that all in one, but to demo the various use cases that we offer, I'm doing it that way. Now, she should have received 2 emails right now. And for that, I'm handing over to Jutta. Jutta, have you received emails?
Yes, I did. Let me change this to my... Now you should see my screen.
Yes, we do.
And there is the email I just received, the first one. I copied the password. And there you can see what Stefan has sent to me. And I now can download the clip. As you can see down here, it started downloading immediately, the first one, and I can also download the second one. That's the one use case, and the other use case is, let me close this. When I now finished my editing, I can send Stefan my results.
In the meantime, I could have sent someone else another invitation also to contribute with files to this project. And he's not able to see what Jutta is doing or is uploading. It's only me as the person who owns this Exchange bucket who can see all the files. Jutta can see what I have sent to her and what she is uploading back to me. And the other person, if you would have one, could also send what I would have sent to this person and could see what this person is uploading to me. But I'm the owner of the content, I'm seeing all of that.
So you should have received my email and I'm giving back the screen to you.
Has just happened. No, here we go. And there have been various emails. So on one hand, I was notified that Jutta has downloaded the content. What we have not activated in this particular case, it's just a flag if we want, is I could have asked Jutta as well to approve content that I have sent to her. That is probably something that I would do later on now with what Jutta has done. So then she has downloaded and here she has uploaded something to me. I can open again this so-called exchange room. And here we go, it has forgotten me, okay. So let me check what was my password. Here it is again, so I'm reminded. Here we go. So these are both files that Jutta have sent back to me. I can play them if I like. And what I could do as well is now I could take those files and can forward them to someone else. So I can make them available for someone else to approve or to download. This is what we wanted to showcase for today. To get an idea, the file exchange product is the most basic products that we have in the x-dream-Fabrik environment. It's also the cheapest, but is based on a very professional media asset and media management engine. So this can be the starting point for something that can grow into the other products easily. So after the demo, what's coming next is that I want to thank you for attending, and I'm asking whether you have questions.
There is one question about the platform you just showed. How many users can use this Simeon in one time? So how many user accounts can I get?
That depends a bit. So what we have seen as the first, what John has demonstrated was the chained processing. Usually this platform is either operated by maximum a handful of people or even not by any human at all, but fully by an API. So a kind of managing application is driving the hosted services platform and thus requested to perform processing. Still, we can have some tens of users watching what's going on, but usually there is just one maximum who does that. And the other platform, what is more about the media management approach. Here we can have some tens or even hundreds. That mainly depends on what action they are performing. So it's a bit of the question how many people you have that are previewing video, but in general, as this is hosted in a data center, what is very well connected, hundreds. Other questions?
There are no more. Yeah, there is one more. Can you give a little bit an insight about the security aspects of the file transfer idea?
So this very moment, this is an HTTPS upload, so a browser-based upload via a secured tunnel from typically on-premise offices or whatsoever to the data center. Here again, it's secured. What we will offer as one of the next, let's call it engines, is accelerated file transfer, what also brings the secure tunnel, means encrypted content transport or even encrypted content hosting. The downside with the encrypted content hosting is that you then can't process it or can't preview it, but in theory that is possible. That is one of the very, very next engines to come. Very most likely we will see this in May as the next enhancement to the platform.
Good. And another question is it possible to integrate that file transfer solution to another existing one?
Yes, for sure. So at the end, what works below the file exchange platform is a workflow system. That is what you have seen when we received the email notifications. Yeah, mainly that is the indication that you have that very moment. So what can happen, for instance, is that once you have received a content from the outside and it was uploaded to that platform, you want it to be forwarded to your, let's say, on-premise editing environment. And let's say the editing environment is built all around Avid Interplay. But finally, our very, very first mover customer is exactly in this area and has such a use case. So what we do in this case is we have a kind of a mirror of this platform on premise, kind of a slave system. And in between that both systems, the content is forwarded. So every content that is on the hosted services platform is supposed to be used for the editing is moved from the hosted service system to the on-premise system, and the on-premise system is forwarding it to your, in this particular case, editing storage. Can be anything else. So it can be that you drive another workflow system, that you have another media asset management system, a newsroom system, or just a big file storage. It's all possible. And after that file transfer and the forwarding to the target system, we then call the API of that system. In my example, we then can call the Avid Interplay web services simply to tell the editing environment or the people there that a new content is being received there. And still, we can inform the people via emails that something has happened. By the way, that also works the other way around. But it's a bit of niche case where the system, the hosted system, pushes out a content to a kind of standard receiver. Let's say you cooperate with a post-production facility on a regular base, and they are receiving a way to receive files is via FTP, Signi and Aspera or File Catalyst file transfers. Then we can use such methods and can send the files directly into this target system. I need to admit here, we are then not talking about a standard product anymore. Then it's a bit of a customized version of the standard product. It's definitely possible and intended to happen, but it's obvious that this is nothing that you buy from a web shop.
Good. That's it for today on questions.
Then thank you very much for all of you for attending. If you want to get more information, please have a look on www.x-dream-Fabrik.com, or send us an email. We are very happy to show you many more use cases and give you all information about details.
Thank you, Stefan, and thanks to all our participants for being with us today. Have a good evening and enjoy the sun. At least in Munich, we have sunshine.
Also, thanks to John.
Thank you very much, everyone.